Hello, hi, hello. This is Caleb Jones, and this is Alpha Male 2.0, freedom-focused lifestyle design for men, location-independent income through your own location-independent business, dating at least two attractive women, long-term, with no lying, cheating, or drama, the freest lifestyle a man can live in the modern era, the modern collapsing era in which we live. Speaking of collapsing, I am coming to you from Portland, Oregon. This is my last day here. At the end of this live stream, I'm headed to the airport. My mom's taking me, dropped me out the airport, and I'm going back to Scottsdale, Arizona, where Pink Firefly is. I will be there for about 2 weeks, and then I'm off to my second home in Paraguay for several months. So I'm looking forward to not having to get on a plane or a train every 3 or 4 days. Yesterday, I took a train from Portland, Oregon to Olympia, Washington, where my dad is. Spent some hours with my dad and his girlfriend. Came back here, had lunch with my sister. I'm kind of making the rounds of seeing all my family members. I have a large family, and the vast majority of my family is actually here in the Portland area, interestingly. Today, we're going to talk about something that is extremely important, something that should be taught in schools, everybody, but it's not because our school system sucks. And it's something that I have talked about in certain contexts, but not in others. So I'm going to cover the entire thing today. Hang on one second. One of you went to Westland High School? You're kidding me. Really? What class were you? I was class of 90. So if you went there in the 90s, you didn't see me. But you probably had the same teachers I did. I was there from 86 to 90, Westland High School. Is that right? I think that's right. Yeah, 86, 85 to 90. Thank you. Yeah, that's cool. Cool. Westland High School. But a lot of my friends were in Lake Oswego because Lake Oswego is where I went to my Catholic school for 8 years. So the way it worked is, I was talking to my dad about this. My parents were very poor when I was little. So we couldn't afford to go to the normal swimming pools. So my parents lied, said they were Jewish, even though they were Catholic. We went to the Jewish Community Center, and I went to preschool at a Jewish Community Center. So I went to a Jewish preschool, even though I'm not Jewish. And then I went to a private, public kindergarten, then a Catholic private school from 1st to 8th grade, then a public high school. I didn't go to college. So yeah, go Lions. Class of 2000. Oh, okay, you're way younger than me. Go Lions. All right, cool. Yeah, that's when they redid the whole school. Yeah, cool. That's cool. Awesome. All right. Let me check the technology here, make sure everything's working. It is. Okay, cool. I'll answer a few questions and we'll get to our topic. It's a big topic, so we have a lot of slides today. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I will describe what you see on the slides, so don't worry. Do you still recommend not having credit cards just to have cash, Visa? I don't necessarily, I never recommended not having credit cards. I said I didn't have credit cards. I do now. Nothing wrong with credit cards if you pay them off every month, but that's a big if. Most people in the modern era don't have that kind of discipline. I pay my cards off every month. So I'll tell you how I do this. I'm an extremist about this. I have several credit cards where I get my frequent flyer miles. Every time I charge something to a card, the next day, I do this every day, I do my cash analysis. It takes me about 50 minutes a day. And I look at all my credit card balances, and whatever the balance is, I have to transfer money into what I call a holding account. So let's say I did this yesterday, I spent $20 on food on the train with one of my credit cards. So today I moved $20 from my main active checking account to my holding account, $20. So when the credit card bill comes due, I just take it out of the holding account and I pay it. So I pretend as if I don't have that money anymore. So I use my credit cards as purchasing cards, not credit cards, as a 30-day purchasing card, like an Amex. And I have a Platinum Amex too. So that's fine. If you can do that, most Westerners don't have the discipline or emotional control to do that. You'll have one bad month and just not pay off your card, and now you have debt. And it's 28% interest. Stupid. Ain't it kind of goofy to boycott products, services that make a political statements? Example, Gillette doesn't really affect these companies' bottom line like it used to. Yes, I said that. It's a purely personal decision. He's mentioning that I don't buy Gillette products. I don't. You're correct. It makes no difference in the world. I don't do it as a political activism. I do it as a personal decision. It's a spiritual thing. I don't want to give money to evil. This is the same reason why when the pandemic hit and we got stimmy checks, I didn't get any, but I got one eventually for some reason. And what did I do with that stimmy check? I got $600. I went right to the bank. I deposited it in my account. As soon as it was deposited in my account, I sat there at the teller, pulled out my phone, and I donated it all to charity. Now, does $600 make any difference in the world? No, but I don't want blood money in my account because I'm a libertarian and I walk my talk. I have spiritual beliefs about this. So that's why I do it as a personal spiritual decision for myself that does not affect the world. I don't believe in activism in any way whatsoever because it doesn't help. You're correct. And I did say that. Although I did buy Gillette. Sometimes when I travel and you're screwed, you have no other options, you have to buy a Gillette thing. That's fine. I'm not a zealot about it. But yeah. Cool. On dating apps, should I ask for a number or social security number? Why would you ask for a social security number? No. And you never ask for a number. You give her your number first and say, I can text you, or if you want, I can, or text me, or if you want, it's easier, I can text you. You give your number first. You don't say, what's your number? That's scary to women. What is more powerful, positive or negative motivation? Should you give yourself a carrot or a stick? Ideally, you should do both. Negative is more powerful. And I'm not the first person. Tony Robbins was saying this 30 years ago. Negative is more powerful. Fear is the most powerful emotion there is, and it's, fear and love, right? So ideally, do both. I do both. Well, I'm class of 2020. I'm young as fuck. I'm class of 1990, and I didn't graduate. I did not graduate high school. I did not go to college. I did not graduate high school. I was making mountains of money within a few years. So there you go. Why are sexual goals around your business? Why are your sexual goals around your fantasies as a man important? Because you will never, if you don't live out your sexual fantasies, it'll bug you for the rest of your life. And boy, there are a lot of you in this category, a lot of beta males who are married, right? And they have all these fantasies and it's constantly bugging them, and you won't want your fantasies to bug you. None of my fantasies bug me anymore because I've lived them all. I was just talking to my family about this a few days ago. I'm kind of reconfiguring things in my wound life, which I can't talk about publicly until about October, but been doing something new for a while. If you were at the London event, you know what I'm doing. Don't tell anybody, because I can say things in, private events. I can't say things publicly. So in October, I'll explain what I'm doing. But anyway, that's why. The entire movie, American Beauty, it was about having these fantasies that you haven't done and how much it fucks you up. So that's why you need to do it. Not everything. You don't do every wild thing you could think of. The 2 or 3 crazy sexual fantasies you have, every man has these, right? You've got them. You've got 2 or 3 crazy fantasies. You should go do those as long as they're legal. If they're not legal, I can't help you. You say give no money to evil, but then why do you infidel Yahoo preschool? This is no legal in Islam. What? I don't understand your question. Rewrite your question. Why haven't you banged the Indian chicks? Not attracted to them. Not attracted to any women. With the exception of the Indian women you find in Fiji, who are really attractive. I think I've seen in my entire life, outside the country of Fiji, I think I've seen maybe 1 or 2 Indian women in my entire life I consider attractive. So just the numbers weren't there. Love you, by the way. Well, I love you too. All right, how are we doing on technology? All right, 1 more minute, we'll get started with our topic. Ray Kurzweil says in 2029, we will have AI smarter than humans, aka AGI. Correct. He was right with 86% of his predictions thoughts. Yes, go watch the live streams about AI. Yeah, he's about right. That's about right. Plus or minus. Do girls sometimes say they don't like a certain kink, but then in the throes of passion, they are full of BS? Sometimes. That's not typical, but yes, sometimes. You have to ignore what women say and pay attention to what they do. So sometimes, especially if it's on a first date, or second date, they're trying to, sound pristine. So yeah, that happens sometimes, sure. I mean, I've talked about this. It took years of being in a relationship with Pink Firefly. Serious. Matter of fact, I think we were living together before she said this to me. Were we living together? I don't remember if we were living together or not. But we were serious for years before she finally got the courage to tell me that she wanted to watch me have sex with one of my FPs. So women are really scared to talk about their sexual stuff. A lot of women. A lot of women aren't. But yeah, so that happens. Sure. How do you figure out your code? I keep adding and subtracting things. That's not, you're just pulling things out of your ass. The code needs to come from inside yourself. You keep adding and subtracting, you're hearing stuff and you're saying, well, that guy does it. That's a good idea. You're looking externally for your code. Your code is internal. Look inside you. What makes sense inside you, not the external world. If you keep adding and subtracting, you're hearing stuff you're hearing a guy on a podcast, or you hear your dad say something and, oh, that's a good idea, or at least subconsciously you're doing that, don't do that. If you give your number to a lot of girls and you don't know who is who, then they eventually text you. Yes, you have to be organized. So back in the days in 2009, when I was doing lots of dating, I had to put a little picture. I wasn't doing dating, I was doing online dating. So I had to put a little picture and her name and her screen name because I wouldn't remember who's who. So you got to be organized. Well, it takes a lot of time. Yeah, it does. Correct. What subcategories of porn do you see that your girls, your FBs these days are commonly into these days? It varies per woman. Every woman likes different things. Some women like normal porn. Some women like girl on girl. Some women like that violent shit where, guys are choking women and tying them up. Every woman likes different things. You just have to ask. It's all different. All right, one more question. Let's get to our topic here. Caleb, I've decided to soft next my wife. You cannot soft next the woman you live with. You can only leave her or not. And even one of our children who is 12 but was not respecting my authority, weed, messing room, etc. What is your return rate for your kids after a soft next? You cannot soft next your children. You cannot soft next the woman you live with. You're misunderstanding the concept of a soft next. So I don't know what you mean by soft nexting in your case. What I think you mean is you're going to move out and get in a hotel for a few days, which is stupid. I've said many times in books that doesn't work because they know that you have to come back. You can divorce your wife. You can physically separate from your wife and stay legally married but not live with her ever again. You can't soft next someone you live with. You give up the soft nexting ability when you move with the woman. Okay? All right. Let's get to our topic here. I will circle back to your questions in a minute. Hang on. You hear me okay, right? Testing. Yeah, cool. All right. Okay. So this topic is, as I said earlier, a topic that should be taught in schools to everyone. It is not and never will be, because the school system, their job, as George Carlin said 30 years ago, the school system's job is to crank out drones, worker bees. Richard Cooper talks about society is a beta male factory. So as George Carlin said, the school system wants you to be just smart enough to operate the machinery and do the paperwork, both of which will be replaced by AI and robots in our lifetime, and do nothing else. Right? And I've talked about in my books how society wants you to 4 or 5 things. What does society want you to do? It wants you to procreate to a degree or not. Depends. We can argue with that one. It wants you to buy things. It wants you to consume. It wants you to vote for designated parties. So in the United States, it would be Democrats, Republicans, but don't vote for anybody else. And in your country, it's similar. It wants you to be mad at certain groups of people because that way the elites can more easily control you, and a few other things, none of which is conducive to your long-term happiness or freedom as a man. Okay? So this topic is how to manage and how to work with, not how to manage your pain, but how to utilize pain in your life in a way where you get what you want instead of viewing pain as a bad thing, because pain isn't a bad thing. What? Yes. Now, there's some kinds of pains that are bad and some kinds of pains that aren't. I'm going to talk about this. What you think is that pain is negative, therefore it's bad, I shouldn't do it, and if I feel pain, I should avoid it. Now, in some cases, that's true. In some cases, that's not. I've discussed aspects of this before in my books and my blogs and things like that. This topic is huge. This really is a 3.5 to 4 hour presentation that I could give. I'm not going to. I don't have that kind of time. I'm not going to do something like that for free. So I have condensed this down into maybe 35 minutes or so. 35 minutes, 40 minutes. I am very, very much abbreviating a very complex, detailed topic. So just be aware of this. I can't give you the keys universe in a free live stream. You want to pay me a lot of money? Different story. But since this is free, I can give you only what I can give you. So I'm just scratching the surface of this and very much abbreviating this very complex and very important and very deep topic. But I'm going to give you the gist of it, and you can do more research later on your own if you wish. Okay. All right. Your relationship with pain in your life will determine 2 things. One, how successful you are. And in Alpha Male 2.0, we have very specific definitions of success, which I'll get to in a minute, which I've covered many times. And equally as important, if not more important, how long-term happy you are. Discuss here at Alpha Male 2.0. The goal is not to be miserable the rest of your life because you're a Christian and you look at society and you get all mad, or you're a Muslim and you look at society and you get all mad, or you're mad about Israel v. Palestine, you're mad about, Joe Biden or whatever. It's not to be mad. It's not to be happy sometimes and mad other times. That's stupid. It's to be happy consistently as possible for the long term, for the next 40, 50, 60, 70 years of your life. The only lifestyle model I've ever seen that will allow you to do this as a man in the modern era is Alpha Male 2.0. No other lifestyle model that I have seen provides this. And if you have one, you let me know, because I've looked. I haven't seen it. So this means you need to, if you want to be successful and happy long term, you need to change your relationship with pain and resistance. Now, there are 4 kinds of pain, which is odd. Most people think there's just one kind of pain. Pain is pain. No, there's 4 kinds. Some of which are bad, some of which are good. Some of which you want to avoid and never have, some of which you want lots of. What? Yes, I'll explain. So the first type of pain, and I have named most of these except for the 4th one. I'll talk about that in a second. The first one is literal pain, mental or physical. So literal pain is what you would view of as standard pain. The stove is hot. You put your hand on the stove. You go, ah, and you burn your hand, and your hand is bloody, and your skin is melting off. That fucking hurts. That's pain. That's literal pain. You're walking down the street on a sidewalk, and you're looking at your phone, and you're not paying any attention, and you trip over a rock, and your phone goes flying, and you fall flat on your face, and you scrape up your nose, and you scrape up your hands, and then you've broken your phone. So now you're fucking pissed and you're in physical pain. That's literal pain. Now, these are physical examples. There are mental examples. What's a mental example of literal pain? Mental example would be you're the typical beta male. You start dating a girl. You get one-itis, even though she's bossing you around. You fall in love with her immediately. You move in with her. You marry her very quickly. You don't sign a prenup. And then you have 1 or 2 kids with her. And then several years later, she divorces your dumbass. And you're like, what? And she takes your kids, and now you're fighting for your kids in court, and your life is destroyed. And you feel horrible and depressed for years. That's mental version of literal pain. Okay? Literal pain is bad. This is the bad pain. You don't want any of this. They say, pain makes you stronger, but doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. That has not been my experience when I watch people. When I see people experience lots of literal pain, I don't see them turning their lives around. I see them just getting fucked up lives and being more and more unhappy. Okay? So the strategy around literal pain is to always, 100% of the time, avoid it. And even better, prevent it. Alpha Male 2.0 is not only about avoidance, but it's also about prevention. I had lunch with my sister, one of my sisters yesterday, and she looked at me, she said, did Pink Firefly sign a prenuptial agreement? And I laughed for about 10 minutes straight. And I said, do you understand the things she had to sign to move in with me, to be married, quote unquote, to me? It was a stack of paperwork this thick. It was like 37 pages of stuff she had to sign. Are you insane? Yes. Now, why did I do that? Because I don't want to experience the literal pain of a standard divorce, which is stupid. And I know men who get divorced and divorced and divorced and divorced and divorced, and women too, who get divorced and divorced, or breakup after breakup after breakup, because they are stupid or they're lazy. And if you have a lot of literal pain in your life, that means you are either stupid or you are not being, you are being lazy. You're not preparing yourself. You're not setting up systems in your life to prevent literal pain. With the exception of last year, I have felt virtually zero literal pain in damn near a decade, with rare, little isolated exceptions. Why? Because I'm not stupid, and I set up structures in my life to prevent these things. And last year I went through some shit, but I promise you, the things I went through last year will never, ever, ever happen again, because I have systems in place now that will prevent every problem I had last year. I had a number of problems in my businesses, some in my personal life, and some with my physical health, my fitness. All 3 at the same time. It's kind of a mess. None of those problems will ever happen again, because I've made sure I have systems in place now to prevent. Matter of fact, a few weeks ago, one of the problems I experienced in my businesses last year started revving up again. And this time, because I have systems in place, I immediately slapped it back down. Didn't happen. Boom. All right. So that's literal pain. Literal pain is bad. You don't ever want it. And if you're experiencing it all the time, you're being an idiot. All right. Number 2, nagging pain. Nagging pain is chronic pain. So some examples. I talked about when I was a kid, I was 19, 18 years old. I was poor. I lived in an apartment by myself. I had no roommates, very low income guy. I couldn't pay my electric bill on time ever. I had trouble finding enough money to put gas in my car. Was this literal pain? Was it like you stabbing me in the stomach? No, it was more of like a ongoing chronic pain. Like, oh, this sucks. So that's what nagging pain is. And it could be physical pain. It could be pain in your life. It could be emotional pain. Here's another example. You're living with a woman who's a nightmare from hell. And she's nagging you and bitching at you, screaming at you, and you're never having sex. But you put up with it because she's a good mom, or because you don't want to go date, or because you have one-itis, or you're a big pussy. That's nagging pain. It's ongoing pain. Okay? It's a problem. The strategy with nagging pain is to permanently fix it, permanently so it doesn't happen again. So if you are monogamous and married to a woman you hate or driving you crazy, let me rewind that. Not that you hate, that you love her, but she's driving you crazy, you never have sex. You need to leave her and go find a woman who is better for you, which is exactly what I did many, many years ago. Okay? You don't just put up with it. That's bad. So nagging pain, like literal pain, is also bad. If you're experiencing regular nagging pain, and the vast majority of you hearing the sound of my voice, you are right now. You are probably right now, if you're most of your typical Western guy, you're experiencing nagging pain. It might be financial. It might be in your relationships. It might be in your family. It might be with your physical body. It might be because you're angry about politics. It might be angry about your religion, whatever. Your experiences over and over and over and over and over again because you haven't sat down and fixed these problems. You're just putting up with this shit because you're becoming kind of used to it. You're getting numb to it. Make sense? Third kind of pain, and we're going to go into more detail about these, especially the latter of these two. These two pains. Hang on one second. The third pain is motivating pain, which I will talk about in great detail in a few minutes. This is pain that is so painful, it forces you, in a way, to get off your ass to make changes in your life, to fix it. So motivating pain is bad because it hurts. It hurts more than nagging pain, and it hurts as much or more than literal pain. But the motivating pain is so painful for you, it finally gets you to get off your dumb ass and make changes in your life and become a more successful person. So here's an easy example from my past. I've talked this many times. In my first marriage to my first wife, when I was a beta male, she got violent. She got violent once. I gave her a warning. She got violent a second time. I was out of the house in 48 hours. Why? Because that was motivating pain. I'm not going to live with a woman who's physically violent with me, especially in the United States / Canada in this era where if I even push her to defend myself, I go to prison and she doesn't. So I'm not going to live like that. So that was enough motivating pain for me at the time for me to make a change. Now, what's interesting is for maybe 6 years prior to that, I had ongoing nagging pain from that marriage that I chose not to do anything about because I was a pussy and I was a beta. So the nagging pain wasn't enough for me to make a change. I had experienced motivating pain. It was one of the two core concepts we're going to talk about in a minute. Okay. So was it good for me to go through that? Did it feel good to go through that? No, it felt awful. Okay. But it was enough for me to make a change and build a much better life. So I'm now thankful that that happened. I'm thankful for that motivating pain. And I've had motivating pain in other areas of my life financially. I mean, I've talked about this. I've talked about how I have noticed that a lot of people are just poor forever. They're just poor forever. And they're constantly bitching about their bills and stuff forever. People I'm close to me in my life, people I've met, people in my family, people I know who they can't pay their bills and this problem, that, and they're bitching about their bills. And you meet them 10 years later, 15 years later, and it's this, they're still just as poor. They're still bitching about their bills. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. And that's nagging pain. They have not experienced enough motivating pain for them to make a change for whatever reason. Whereas when I was poor, I hated it. I hated it. I've written entire articles, my blogs about how when I was a kid, my parents were, when I was a little kid, now when I was in my 20s, my parents had money, but I was already moved out of the house by then. But when I was a little kid, my parents had no money. And I would go over to my friends' houses, and I went to a private Catholic school because they were able to afford two of us to go to the private Catholic school because it was cheaper back then in the 70s, 80s. And so I knew some rich kids. And I would go over to my friends' house who were rich or upper middle class, and they, had all this shit and all these toys. And I was so angry. I think I've told this story before. I had a friend named Barry when I was a kid. Okay. And whenever to his house, so to put this in context, when I was a little kid, I got nothing. If I wanted to buy a toy, I had to go work and mow lawns and buy my own toys. Okay. For Christmas, and there were 5 children in a family. My dad was a low-income man who supported a family of 7 in the 1970s. He was the last generation of men who could do that in the United States before the collapse. And so when we had Christmas, my mom would have to save up all year for Christmas, and each kid got 3 presents, and that's it. Now today, these kids just get mounds of presents. But anyway, so that was my context. So I go to my friend's Barry's house, and it was just him and his little sister. And first of all, his house was giant, beautiful, in a nice part of town. Like, oh wow! And then I walked through his hallway. It's the first time I went to his house, and boy, do I remember this. This was almost 50 years ago. I remember this stuff. And there's this door that's cracked open. I said, "What's in there?" He goes, "Well, that's the toy room." I said, "That's the what?" He goes, "That's the toy room." I said, you have a room for your toys?" He's like, "Well, yeah, don't you?" I said, "No." So I opened the door, and it was like the angels singing in the sunlight. This giant room, this giant like playroom, and it's full of expensive early 1980s, because that was the era. It was like 1982, 1980s toys, like the Millennium Falcon and the AT-AT and these giant Lego sets and the Death Star play set. All this shit I could not afford and he has a room full of this shit. I'm like, oh my. And I run in there and I'm like, oh, I have a little boy orgasm. I run, oh my God, and I start playing all these toys. And I loved it. And then I went home that day and I was so angry. I walked to my parents and I said, "Why aren't we rich? This is bullshit. Why aren't we rich?" I was so mad. And then they gave me the usual left wing, well, money doesn't make people happy. So anyway. All right. So what's the strategy for motivating pain? We'll talk about this in a minute. Use it to push you to something called right action, which I've discussed before. I will talk about that in a minute. So you utilize motivating pain as a gasoline, as a drive. David Goggins talks about this, right? Last one, 4, is evolving pain. And I stole this term from, what's his name? Charlie Morgan, if those of you know who he is. Evolving pain. Evolving pain, I'll talk about this in a moment. When you start to make a change in your life, you're going to start to feel more pain, not less. The happiness change curve, those of you who are familiar with my content. Talk about that in a moment. That's evolving pain. Evolving pain is the pain you experience as you evolve from your current self to your future self, which is the man you don't want to be, the man you are now, to the man you want to be. Okay? Strategy, seek it out consistently and face it. You want evolving pain. You want lots of evolving pain. So here's a review of this. Literal pain, you don't ever want, ever. Nagging pain, you don't want, ever. You're a pussy if you have nagging pain. Motivating pain, you want. Now, you don't want it all the time, but it's healthy to have sometimes. Evolving pain, you want as much as you can. You want to just have as mountains of evolving pain. The more evolving pain, the better, because the more successful, happy you'll be. I'll explain this as we go on. Okay? So, there are 2 phases to this pain process. And they're both very different. One involves motivating pain. One involves evolving pain. Right? First, you need to be motivated enough to initiate change. If you have no pain in your life at all, literally, are you going to change at all? No. We human beings are comparatively lazy creatures. We're going to do what we have to do. So if you have literally no pain, literally, not you have pain, you say, well, it's okay. I'll talk about that in a minute. Not where you have pain, but you're bullshitting yourself. You have literally no pain, you're not going to do any change. You're not going to initiate any change, because why? Why would you? Why would I? Why would you? I wouldn't either. If I had literally no pain in any area of my life and I have everything I wanted, why would I change? No, probably not. I would just write fantasy fiction all day. So that's the first phase. The second phase is when you start to initiate change, you encounter a bunch of evolving pain, which is also pain, which is not fun. But you need to persevere through that evolving pain using right action, which is the only thing that solves evolving pain, which I'll talk about. So 2 different phases. I'm going to discuss both. 2 different types of pain. 2 different types of pain you manage differently and you embrace differently. Okay? It's not just I feel pain. It's a little more complex than that. Now, some of you have seen this chart before. This is the standard alpha male 2.0 stuff. In terms of pain and happiness in the Alpha Male 2.0 universe, we have our two fundamental baselines, sex and money. That creates freedom. Freedom then creates happiness. You cannot be long-term happy as a man if you are not free, with rare and weirdo exceptions. There's exceptions to every rule when every talk about human beings. There are some weird beta male types who are very happy when they have a dominant wife who runs their life. That does happen, but that's very rare. Okay. The vast majority of men are happy to the degree to which you can wake up every morning and do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want, without having to check in with anyone. That's the lifestyle I've been living for 17 years now. Okay. So happiness and freedom are together. They are merged together as a man. Women are different. Women don't follow this model. Women have different psychology for this stuff. Most women. The women who do follow this model will be more masculine women. More masculine women will follow these models and feel really good. But women, normal women or feminine women, are following different models. Okay. The only way to get freedom is our baselines of sex and money first. And there's a third baseline of physical fitness and health if you're over the age of 35, which is not on here. So what's the sexual baseline? 2 women, minimum 2. 2 is okay. I think 3 is better, but that's my opinion. 2 women you're actually having sex with in any given period of time within any 6-week period, long-term, who are at least cute to you. They cannot be ugly to you. They have to be at least cute. They don't have to be supermodels. They don't have to be 19-year-olds, okay? But they have to be cute to you. 2. And it's a happy relationship with both. If you want more than 2, great. At least 2. 1 is monogamy. 1 will not. Monogamy will not make you happy long-term. For a while when the relationship is new, yes. 56 years, no. 1. 0 women is incel. That will really make you unhappy. That's black pill incel, MGTOW, I hate the world and fuck women. No, that's really bad. So 0 is bad, 1 is bad, 2 or more is good. And I said 2, not 12 or 20. 2. Okay. So that's sexual baseline. Financial baseline is what? You should know this by now if you know my content. If you're new, here it is. $85,000 a year. Location independent income, that is pre-tax net income from your business, from a location independent Alpha 2.0 business you own and control. If you have a job, it does not count. If you do gigs that are location dependent, that does not count. It has to be your own business that you own, and you make at least $85,000. That's about $7,000 a month in profit before taxes. And it has to be 100% location independent. If you're locked in one region, it doesn't count. Okay. So those are 2 baselines we're going after here at Alpha Male 2.0. The third one, if you're over the age of 35, you are healthy. You're healthy. You don't be ripped. You should be. I should be. Talk about that in a second. You don't be ripped, but you got to be healthy. Under 35, health is optional. And the reason for that is you could be a guy in your 20s. You guys know this. When you're 20s, you can kind of fuck with your health and be a functional person. Right? Can you do that when you're 47? No. I can't travel the way I used to be able to travel just 3, 4, 5 years ago. Now that I'm in my 50s, my body just says nope. Okay, I hurt myself pretty seriously last year lifting weights the way I used to lift weights when I was 25. I'm 52. I can't do that. So, but you are healthy, and health means all the physical systems of the body are functioning correctly. I've been getting a lot of blood tests lately to make sure I'm healthy. All right. Okay. So those are the foundations in terms of success and happiness in Alpha Male 2.0 that you use pain to accomplish. If you have not accomplished these things, then you have a ways to go. You need to get to work. And I'm going to talk about in a minute why you haven't bothered to accomplish a lot of these things, many of you. So first, phase 1 is getting enough pain to motivate you to change. That's phase 1. Without phase 1, nothing else happens. Okay? So first, you must feel enough pain to take the action to better yourself, or else you won't better yourself. Are you going to really bust your ass on something that is completely optional, that isn't solving any big pain in your life? Probably not in most cases. There are rare exceptions. Okay. So if you have, I mentioned this earlier, if you have literally 0 pain, that means you won't take any action because you don't need to. Right? So here's some examples of this. Very old men. So my dad, I spent the day with my dad yesterday. My dad is in his early 80s. He has several $1 million in the bank. Plus he gets several $1,000s a month residual passive income from things like Social Security and pensions. He's the last generation. He's a baby boomer. He's the last generation of men to be able to get those things. We were joking about how I'm not going to get my Social Security, but he gets that. Plus, he has several million. Plus, he has an attractive girlfriend who's about 10 years younger than him. Now, is he 100% happy? No, he's not. Talked about that before. But is he in pain? In terms of his life, is he in real pain? No, he's in no pain. So is my dad motivated to change anything he's doing? No. He's old. He's at that point. So a lot of people try to change old people. I wish my mom, who was 75, would do this, or I wish my dad or grandpa. No. Old people need to change because they're not feeling enough pain, other than like back pain and things like that, right? But that's not motivating pain. Back pain is what? Literal pain. We're not talking about literal pain. Okay. My grandfather, my dad's dad. Matter of fact, I talked to my mom about this a few days ago. When he was in his 80s, so the age my parents are now. I had talked with him once, and he said, I was married to two wonderful women because he was divorced once. I was married to two wonderful women. I had two wonderful children, my dad and his brother, and I built a great business. He built a small insurance company. He goes, I'm done. That's it. I'm done. I'm done now. So did he have any motivation to change? No, because he didn't have any pain. And he had enough money to retire and all that stuff. So that's an example. Very old men. Men who retired. Old guys who retired, get plenty of money. Are they feeling enough pain to go and start a new company and be the next Elon? No, they're not. These are young men who are hungry, right? Self-actualized men who have accomplished all of their goals. And I mean all of them. Physical, financial, sexual, relationship, all that. They've accomplished all their goals. Are they feeling a lot of pain to change? Probably not. Okay. Self-actualized men in one key area. So here's my example. You can break this up into key areas. So in my world, my woman life on a scale of 1 to 10 is like a 12. Okay, can you guys see me? Will you let me know in the chat if you can see me? I can see me, but let me know if you can see me. Sorry about that. I'm traveling, so this is what you get while I'm traveling. I see 2 or 3 yeses. Can you get? I need to see some more yeses. I'm back. All right, cool. All right, that may happen again. That's what happens when I travel. All right, cool. All right, I gotta think. I will remind. Yeah, these internet problems don't happen in Dubai. You're right. That's why I miss Dubai so much. That's correct. That's exactly right. All right, great. All right, thank you very much. Sorry about that. All right, moving on. I'm going to rewind myself here. So I talk about old men, retired men, self-actualized men. So if you've accomplished all of your goals in life, your relationship life is perfect. You have millions of dollars in the bank. You make millions of dollars a year. You've got ripped 6-pack abs. Everything you've ever wanted, you've got. Are you going to feel a lot of pain in order to change radically? No, you're not. Probably, with rare exception, right? Okay. Next one is self-actualized in one key area. So my example is, I've talked about this many times, you have your woman life, your financial life, your recreational life. Okay, so my woman life on a scale from 1 to 10 is a 12. It's beyond my wildest dreams. I mean, it's crazy. So do I have any motivation whatsoever to go in and date a bunch of new girls or date a bunch of celebrities? Or no, I have no motivation whatsoever. Matter of fact, what I've done lately is simplify my woman life and reduce the number of women. So I have no motivation whatsoever to change this because I'm there. Okay. Now, in my financial life, different story. I am, in my opinion, way behind where I should be in terms of my net worth and my income. Way behind. In my opinion, if I told you how much money I made or how much I'm worth, you'd be like, well, that'd be awesome. I'd love to have that. But in my opinion, it's too low. I need to lose weight. So I'm way behind on that. Way behind. So I'm motivated for those two areas, but I'm not motivated by my woman life anymore. Whereas I was motivated by my woman life 10, 15 years ago, hardcore. Make sense? So some of you have areas where some of you make plenty of money. Some of you are doing Alpha 2.0. I just talked to one of you yesterday. You are fucking killing it. Some of you are making plenty of money. You're making 100,000 a month, location dependent. You're good, right? But your dating life sucks. Or you're married and monogamously married, you haven't had sex in 3 years with your wife. That's a problem. So you're motivated in those areas, but not others. Make sense? Okay. All right, how's the technology doing? We're doing good here? All right, good. Okay. The next possible scenario you have is that you have some nagging pain. This is most humans. Most humans, especially most Westerners, have regular nagging pain all the time, every day. It could be financial, you don't make enough money, financial pressures. It could be with your kids. It could be with your family. It could be in your dating life. It could be your girlfriend, your marriage. It could be you're not getting laid at all. It could be you're fat. It could be you have chronic pain in your body. It could be whatever. It could be a number of things. It could be you're pissed off about the United States and Joe Biden or Donald Trump. Okay? Nagging pain. Problem with nagging pain is you don't feel enough of it to make any change. So you just go, oh, well, and you make a bunch of excuses. Well, my life sucks, but it's not that bad, which we'll talk about excuses in a second. Okay? That's most of you. And odds are the majority of you living or hearing the sound of my voice right now are in this category. You're feeling lots of nagging pain on a regular basis, and you're fucking putting up with it because you're a big pussy. Examples of things you will say when you have lots of nagging pain but not enough to make a change. And I've talked about this comment before. Well, my life sucks, but it's okay. Boy, do I hear that a lot from a lot of you. A lot of you millennials, a lot of you Gen Zs, a lot of you older married monogamous guys. Yeah, it sucks, but it's okay. That means you're a big beta pussy. Your life sucks. You're dealing with all kinds of pain and problems, but you're not going to get off your ass to fix it. Yeah, my marriage sucks, but at least I have to go on a bunch of dates. At least I have to go on Tinder like all you guys. I mean, yeah, my marriage sucks. My wife yells at me every day. I haven't had sex in a year. I'm depressed. I'm addicted to porn, even though I'm a married man. But at least I don't have to go on Tinder. Make a bunch of excuses. You're justifying the nagging pain instead of fixing it, which is what you should do. I'm at a place in my life now where I don't tolerate any nagging pain, exception of my life, which is my body fat percentage. But that doesn't cause a lot of nagging pain for me because I have a great life despite the fact that I'm overweight. It's one of those reasons why I haven't addressed this. So a lot of this, I'm yelling at myself. I'm yelling at you guys about this. I'm yelling at myself in terms of the areas that I need to work on. Okay. Yeah, the USA is collapsing. Yeah, it's all fucked. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, but Mexico is dangerous and there might be cartels and Dubai has Sharia law. Okay, what that means is you're admitting your country sucks, but you're not going to do a goddamn thing about it. You're miserable living in your collapsing Western country, but you're going to pull a bunch of random excuses, both of which are factually inaccurate, out of your butthole and use that as, well, I guess I won't do anything then. And that's a Five Flags version of nagging pain. Yeah, my society is a problem. My culture is a problem. Everything's going downhill. But hopefully, hopefully Trump slash Biden slash Bernie Sanders slash insert your favorite person here if you're not American. We'll fix it. A few weeks ago, I was talking to someone, a friend of mine, successful businessman, someone I like a lot, good friend of mine, and he lives, I can't tell what he lives. He lives somewhere in the United States that's very bad, and he won't move. And we were talking to him, and a few of us I've moved, and a few of us are thinking about moving, and he goes, yeah, it sucks, yeah, it's awful, and yeah, taxes, cost of living, homeless, and yeah. But he says, this is a while ago, okay, this is a few months ago. So, but maybe Ron DeSantis will get elected. And he knew it when he said it. He kind of looked down when he said it. He knew it was such a bullshit excuse. And I said, what? Ron DeSantis is going to fix any of the problems you just said? Well, I guess not. Okay. Nagging pain you're just putting up with. Now, sometimes you have scenarios where you have sharp nagging pain. It's nagging pain, but it's a little sharper. And so what happens there is you do make a change, but just enough to solve that immediate problem, and then you go right back to the nagging pain. Just enough. So an example would be your girlfriend, like your live-in girlfriend who nags you all the time, never has sex with you. She throws a frying pan in your head and smashes your face, cuts your face open. And you're like, okay, I guess I better break up with her. So you break up with her, and within 2 months, you're living with a new girl and you have the same fucking problem again. Okay, sometimes that happens. The guy who starts his own business only after he gets fired from his job. I see this a lot. You see this a lot with consultants. A lot of consultants, the only reason they're a consultant is because they got fired. They go, well, fuck that company. I'm going to be a consultant. I'm going to show them. They should have quit and been a consultant 5 years ago. But they put up with a bunch of nagging pain, and now they'll start their own business. And they'll probably start it wrong because they're starting it for the wrong reasons. Then they got to go back and get a job again. The guy who finally starts using Alpha 2.0 dating models only after his wife divorces him. And then he goes, well, maybe I should do Alpha 2.0 now that my wife just left me in. And it's all for the wrong reasons. He gets one-itis again, right? So this happens. And they do a temporary fix, and they go right back to the nagging pain. No lasting change has been accomplished. That's the difference. Okay? So this happens too. Motivating pain. This is the next scenario. Motivating pain is where you say, okay, that's it. I'm done. I've had enough. And that's you actually take action to change your life permanently and do whatever is necessary. Motivating pain. That's the good pain. I've had this pain throughout my life. I've had it financially. I've had it in my woman life. I've had it in my physical life a little bit. Several times in several different scenarios where I'm like, all right, that's it. I am never going through this again. Boom, change. There's a reason when I married Pig Firefly, I married her under the OLTR marriage model, not the TMM standard traditional monogamous don't sign a prenup model. Why did I do that? Because I went through the divorce. I said, this is never happening again. I've told this story before where my first marriage, toward the end of the marriage, I went and saw a divorce attorney. Sorry, why am I blanking out? Hang on a second. Must be this Portland weather I'm not used to. Saw a divorce attorney, still married to my first wife. This is toward the end of the marriage. And he basically said, if you get divorced, she will destroy you. He looked at my finance and everything. She will destroy your life. She will destroy you. My strong recommendation to you is don't get divorced. Go back home and do whatever she says. That's literally what he said. And he was serious. He was not making a joke. I said, are you insane? She wants me to do this and she wants to do that. She wants to do this. He goes, yeah, that sucks. Better get divorced. One thing I said, she wants to move back to her home in rural Nebraska. And I was a computer consultant back then. I said, I can't be a computer consultant in rural Nebraska and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and build a big firm. I can't do that in the middle of bumblefuck Nebraska. And he goes, yeah, you can't. But you can be a computer guy and fix, work with the farmers and, hey man, whatever. Don't divorce her. She's got you by the balls. Just go home and do whatever the fuck she says. And I walked out of that appointment. I remember being in the parking lot. And I remember looking up at the sky and saying, I don't know how I'm going to fix this because I didn't know back then. I don't know what I'm going to do here, but here's what I do know. No woman, no person, including men, will ever have this power over my life ever again. And I was 20, how old was I back then? Early 30s. It was 20 years ago because I'm in early 50s now. And that's happened. No one has authority over me. Nobody. No boss. I don't have a job. No woman. I'm not monogamous. No government. I'm 5 flags. No one can tell me what to do. The few people on Earth, one of the few men on planet Earth of any income level who can say that. No one can tell me what to do. I can do whatever the fuck I want, and no one can fuck up my life. Only I can. The only person who can fuck up my life is me, because I went through motivating pain to make a permanent change. I made a bunch of changes, and that was the only problem I was having back then. Okay, so that was good pain. Motivating pain is good. You should be thankful for motivating pain. A lot of people are miserable because they haven't experienced any motivating pain yet. There's just a lot of nagging pain. So, if you add all this up, if you have not yet changed, and a lot of you haven't. So, for example, you haven't yet started your Alpha 2.0 business because you're scared, what if I pick the wrong niche, Caleb? Or you haven't become non-monogamous because what if she gets mad at me and my wife wouldn't like that? Or you haven't become location independent because, well, maybe Trump will fix it all. Dubai is Sharia law. Okay. You haven't made any changes, or the changes you need to make. The reason you haven't made these changes is there's only one reason why you haven't made these changes. You aren't in enough pain. You're experiencing lots of nagging pain, or maybe a little nagging pain, a little to a lot. You're experiencing no motivating pain. You're not experiencing enough pain. So what's the solution? You need to experience more pain. What? Yes. And we've just proven it. If you've been sitting on your ass listening to my content for years, haven't done anything, and you still hate your life, what does that mean? Haven't experienced enough pain. You're making a bunch of excuses I just talked about earlier. So you need more pain, not less. More pain. Here's how to get more pain. And yes, there have been times in my life I have had to do this. Several times, not lately, but several times throughout my life, I had to go out and get more pain. I was living in a way I hated, but it was a nagging pain and not enough motivating pain. I said, I need more motivating pain to get me off the couch, off the chair, and into the real world to fix my problems, to fix my woman life, to fix my business life in particular. Here's how you do it. There's a number of them. Negative visualizations. When you visually see something about your life that bothers you emotionally, you start doing that every day. There's several examples of this. The easiest one is you're trying to lose weight, but you as a parallel to your woman life or your business life or your financial life, you take naked pictures of yourself and you look at them every day. And you go, wow, what a fat piece of shit I am. I'm disgusting. Okay? That works. That will create more pain. Most people who are really fat and disgusting, they haven't done this ever. They don't want to look at themselves. A lot of women, when they start gaining weight, the reason women in particular gain weight is they never weigh themselves. Why don't women weigh themselves? Because they cry. Well, they should weigh themselves every day, and I weigh myself every day. Even when I travel, I have a little portable scale. I want to see that pain every fucking day. As one of my sisters, I've talked about this, is massive. She's like 400 plus pounds. She can barely walk. Okay. She doesn't do any of this stuff. She doesn't pay attention to how she looks. She doesn't want to weigh herself. She'll cry. Even Pink Firefly, who's a size 0, doesn't weigh herself. She weighs herself like twice a year. She hates it. It's a girl thing. No, you want that pain. Okay. Well, what about, a financial one? Let's say you have a lot of debt. You have a lot of debt and you forget, you don't really think about it. You should look at your debt. If you have a lot of debt, for example, this is an example, look at it every day. You should have a spreadsheet that shows all your debts and this gigantic number at the bottom is total, and go, oh my God, I am in hundreds and thousands of dollars in debt. Oh my fucking God, this is horrible. And feel that pain every fucking day, etc. But lots of things. Come up with something, whatever area of your life. If you're not getting laid, right? Look at guys who are getting laid. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Comparison. Dickens pattern. This is not mine. This is Tony Robbins. I'm just going to summarize this very quickly. This is a Tony Robbins technique that I've used. He introduced this way back in the 80s. Here's how it works really quick. Okay, there's more advanced versions as you could probably find on the internet. But here's how it works. I've done this and it works. What you do is you identify the problem that you are not fixing, or problems. If it's problems, it's even better. Okay, and what you do is you visualize yourself. You sit down quietly. You visualize yourself looking in the mirror right now, how you are right now at your current age. You look at yourself in the mirror and you look at yourself and you ask yourself, how do you feel? How do you look? How much self-respect do you have or don't have? Okay. Now you fast forward 5 years in the future and you do it again. Look at yourself. Now fast forward 5 years in the future and you have not fixed anything. You haven't started your Alpha 2.0 business. You haven't improved your dating life at all. You haven't done any 5 flags. You've done nothing. Nothing. You're now 5 years older and you've done nothing. Now you look at yourself in the mirror 5 years older. Now how do you look? How do you feel? How are you standing? How are you breathing? How do you feel about yourself? Then you do 10 years. It's now 10 years. You haven't done shit. You're just 10 years older. How do you look? How do you feel? If you do this right, you're going to feel awful. You're going to feel terrible. It's going to ruin your day, and that's good. Then you do 25 years or 20. Let's say 20 years. 20 years. How do you look? How do you feel if you haven't done anything? If you do this correctly, you will feel so awful. The next day, you will be making like cold calls. I did this many years ago with some pretty girls I wanted to ask on dates. This is way back in the 90s. And boy, did it work. I mean, I was so scared to call these girls, but I thought the next day I was on the phone. Hey, plus some other things. I've done this several times throughout my life. Do this, and you're going to feel awful. And that's good. You're not feeling enough pain. Negative comparisons. Let me go back. So normally, under normal conditions, I would say don't compare yourself because you shouldn't. You shouldn't compare yourself. But if you're trying to get more pain, comparison is awesome. Now, the problem is you want to compare yourself every day and feel like shit. You get my point. So here's some questions. Who makes more money than you? Especially bonus points if they are younger than you and or dumber than you. A lot of you in my audience are LISIGs, which means low income smart guy. You guys, there's a lot of people out there, and I could be included in some of them, who are dumber than you, making way more money than you. How does that make you feel, you big pussy? I've talked about this myself. When I do affirmations, I don't do this all the time, but I do this regularly. I have a list of about 15 people I know who are younger than me and make more money than me. And I read their names. Why do I do that? Create more pain, more motivating pain. And I get so fucking mad at myself, and it's great. I get to fucking work. Because I can blow past all these fucking guys. I could. I need to get to work, though. Now, to be fair, none of these men have the woman life that I have. Not even close. So you got to put it in context. But anyway, okay. Who makes more? If it's a monetary thing, who makes more money than you, especially if they're younger than you? Here's a really cool one. I don't have this, but some of you guys have had this. You have a younger brother who makes way more money than you, and it just fucking pisses you off. Good. Let's say it's a woman thing. Who has sex with women, hotter women than you have? Who has sex with women who are way hotter than the women you're having sex with? Now, maybe you're not having sex at all. That's even worse. Maybe having sex with, your average overweight Western woman and, who's on a scale of 1 to 10 to 4. Who's having sex with women who are way hotter than women that you're having sex with? Wink, wink, me. Okay, but don't use me as an example if you don't want to. You could if you want. Bonus points again, if they are uglier than you, if these men are uglier than you, if these men are poorer than you, well, that'll piss you off. Or if they're fatter than you. By the way, I have been in all of these scenarios. So when I was younger, I saw men get laid with hot girls, hotter than I could get, and they were uglier than me. In many cases, they were poorer than me, and in some cases, they were fatter than me. I'm like, good. If you can't find someone like that, find them. You'll find them. Find them. That'll make you fucking pissed. Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling some of you are going to be a little upset right now as I'm describing this because you know of someone. I saw this in high school. Back in high school, we're just talking about when I was in high school, in the 80s. I would see some doofus, ugly, dumb fuck get a smoking hot blonde girlfriend. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's not sugar daddy game. It's a teenager. He had no money. What the hell? I was so bewildered. Now I understand. It was not about all looks, but boy, that pissed me off. I remember the monetary stuff. I remember I used to go to Brian Tracy. Those, he is one of my mentors a long time ago. Went to one of his version of the Focus program, and I would fly down to San Diego 4 times a year because it was before the internet, or before the internet was a big thing. This is the late 90s. And I was in the room for 40 people, and you had to make at least $100,000 a year. They verified it. You had to send in all kinds of materials to prove it. So you were not allowed unless you made $100,000 a year. And I was the youngest guy in the room. I'm like, yeah, woo, I'm badass. All these old guys and me, I was like 29. Yeah, I'm awesome. Then one day I show up, and this young motherfucker walks in. This short little young motherfucker. And I'm like, I don't like this. My ego, my little fragile ego back then was like, hey, man. So I asked the lady, one of the women in the back, like, so I'm the youngest guy, right? Am I the youngest guy? She's like, actually, you're not. You're not. Ethan over there, he's the youngest. He's like 24 or something. And I go, oh, that's great. And then she says, this is like a young, cute girl. I'll never forget this. She goes, and it's something else. He is really good looking, I must say. I'm like, that's great. So not only is he younger than me, he's better looking than me in the group that I thought was, okay, so that'll piss you off. Good. Get pissed. You don't have enough pain because you're not taking any action. All right, so let's say, hopefully, you get enough pain to get motivating pain, and now you're going to make a change. You're going to say, okay, that's it. I'm going to go start my business now. Or that's it. I'm going to go out and go on some first dates. Or that's it. I'm going to set my international backup plan. Or whatever it is you need to do. Or I need to lose weight. Whatever the fuck you need to do, okay? You're going to start taking action now to do these things. You have enough pain to take action, but now you feel resistance because you're taking action you've never taken before. Thus, you now experience more pain. You're like, oh, fuck. I'm trying to get out of pain. I got to experience more pain? That's bullshit. No, that's how it works. So if you've read my books, you have seen this graph before. I'll describe it if you're listening to the podcast. This is the happiness change curve. Talk about this. I've been talking about this for 20 years. And I developed this. This is my invention. The way it works is this. You start on a scale of 1 to 10 at a certain level of happiness. Okay. And you you are unhappy because you want to be happier. So you decide to make a change. That's this first dot here is the motivating pain. Okay. So what happens then is you start taking action. Let's say you're really fucking fat. You're 100 pounds overweight. So you just say, I'm going to start running every day. Okay. I've had enough. I got to lose weight. I'm going to start running every day. In addition to my diet and other things, right? So you get out there, you take on your shorts and your t-shirt, and your big belly's hanging over your belt like Santa Claus, and you go out first thing in the morning, it's cold, and you start running. Do you feel happy? No, you're fucking miserable. You feel like garbage. You feel like shit. You want to die. So your happiness actually goes down. Your happiness was at a 4. Now it's down to a 1 or a 2. You're like, fuck this. Now, if you quit, you go back up to 4 and you're at 4 forever. But if you persevere through the pain, you start losing weight. You start getting more strong. You start feeling better about yourself. You start making more money, or you start getting laid more, whatever it is you're working on. And I've been through this many times in my life. And then you go back up to 3, and then back up to 4, and then you're up to 5. On a scale of 1, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9. Awesome. But you have to persevere at what Seth Godin calls the dip. He wrote an entire book called The Dip. After I came up with this, by the way. You got to persevere through the dip, through the new pain. So let me explain how this works. This is you. This is your current self. Your current self is a little slimy gremlin monster. He's a little rat turd. Here's the old saying. What are the percentage odds that you can say, if you don't have one yet, you can start your own location-dependent business and make $85,000 a year ASAP? What are the percentage probabilities you could pull that off? Because I've answered this question. Well, Caleb, you said like 80%, 90%. No, the actual answer is 0. You can't do it. You need to become someone else to do it, either a little or a lot. You get to change a little bit in order to do this. A little or a lot, depends how far back you are. We all start from different places, right? So this is your current self. Your current self is gross. He's a little rat turd. He's a monster. And this is not what you want. Your current self cannot accomplish the goals that you want. Instead, you need your future self. This is the happy alpha male 2.0. That's your future self. You need to go from your current self to your future self. You with me so far? Your future self can easily accomplish all these things you want to do. Your future self can get laid with all the hot girls you want. Non-monogamous, location, not long-term, OLTR, FB, whatever you want. Your future self, and your future self could be your future self in 3 months, not 17 years from now. It could be your future self. This could be a 3-month transition, a 1-month transition, a 5-year transition. Depends on how far back you are and how big your goals are. That's why I say start with 85,000. Alex Hormozi, Andrew Tate, make 30 million. No. Start with 85,000 a year. Start with that, okay? Because I don't want you to think about, well, 12 years from now, that's not going to work. All right? Your future self can accomplish, make all the money you want. I am now, in my woman life, my future self. I am now, in most of my financial life, my future self. I've already become this guy. With my body fat, I am not. With my body fat, I am my current self. I am this disgusting little monster. Still. Maybe not quite as disgusting as him, but close, in my opinion. I'm hard on myself. Jim Rohn's famous statement, the best statement I've ever heard in my life, I think. When you are hard on yourself, life is easy on you. When you're easy on yourself, life is hard on you. So when you're easy on yourself, you're feeling all kinds of nagging pain the rest of your life. So you're easy on yourself, but life sucks. When you're hard on yourself, I'm very hard on myself. I live a dream life. Literally. So here's how this works. And again, this is what they should teach in schools. In order for you to make the transition from your current self who can't get it done to your future self who can easily get it done, your current self must die. Your current self must die for your future self to be replaced, to replace your current self, for your future self to be born. Your current self must die. Now, just like any life organism on the earth, Mystery Method used to talk about this. Mystery, what's the 2 primary things of life? Survival and replication. Survival. Your current self doesn't want to die. Your current self wants to stay not getting laid, having a horrible job, and not being location dependent. Your current self loves the nagging pain. It doesn't want to change. It says, oh, fuck you. So your current self, when you start to take action to improve, is going to do everything in its power to survive, to stay alive. It's going to go at war with you. You're going to go to war with your current self. You are the ghost of your future self going to war against your current self. Because your current self's going to say, fuck this. I don't want to lose weight. I don't want to start a business. I just want to work at my horrible, shitty job. I don't want to go on a bunch of first dates. I don't want to do that. What if they take half my money and, I don't want to move to Mexico. There's cartels there. That's your current self. Now, he's a monster. He's full of shit. He's a child, but he knows, here's the thing. Your current self is you. So he knows you better than anyone else. So your current self is going to use every trick in the playbook to get you to stop from becoming your future self and getting what you want. He knows all of your weaknesses, all of them, things that no one else knows. He knows. He knows the things that distract you. We all have our own distractions, right? He knows exactly what will work on you to distract you from building a better life. He knows what you want, sexually and otherwise, including things that no one else knows. He knows. He knows what you're afraid of. That's one of his biggest weapons. He knows where you're scared, and he can just ramp that shit up and make you more scared whenever he wants. He's going to use all these things to ensure that he survives and that you don't. Did you watch the movie Creed? Scene in that movie where it's a Rocky movie, where Rocky's an old man, he's coaching Creed, right? The young Creed. And he stands in front of a mirror. He goes, look in that mirror. He goes, you see that guy in the mirror? That is your number one enemy in life. That guy. It's no one else. It's him. That's what he was talking about, the current self. Your number one enemy is not the woke left. It is not Joe Biden. It is not feminists. It is not Israel or Palestine or Putin or Ukraine. It is not your boss. It is not your roommate. It's not your ex-wife. It's you. Specifically, your current self, this little bastard right there. That's your biggest enemy. You overcome that enemy, all those other people I just mentioned don't bother you anymore. You think Trump, Biden, Israel bothers me? If you see me react, I just laugh and you guys go, oh no, I don't care because I've defeated 95% my former self. He's dead. That guy is long dead. I think back to things I did in the 90s as a beta male, early 2000s, before I made my transition to Alpha Male 2.0, before I turned 33, and it's a different guy. It's a different Caleb. It's still Caleb, but it's Caleb. It's a different, completely different version of Caleb that I don't even recognize anymore. The thoughts I had, because that, you know why? That guy's dead. I killed him I put a fucking dagger right through his skull and cracked his skull open on the sidewalk to replace him with me. I like me a lot better than I liked him. That guy sucked. That guy wasn't completely hopeless, but boy. Now, I'm also thankful to that guy. I'm thankful for the motivating pain that allowed me to change from that guy to the person I am now. Okay. Let me give you some specific examples of what your current self is going to do to you once you start taking the action to build your location-independent business, to improve your dating life, to convert to non-monogamy, to whatever. Okay, build a 5 flags lifestyle. It doesn't matter, whatever you need to work on, know what you need to work on. When you start working these things, here are some examples of exactly what your current self is going to do to you. Because he goes, oh shit, I don't want to die. I want to stay alive and keep being miserable for the rest of my life. Fuck this guy. So he's going to throw at you what we call the fourth type of pain, evolving pain. So the pain you feel at the happiness change curve when you go out, you're running for the first time, you feel like shit. That's evolving pain. That's the pain you need to get through to get to your goals. That's the best kind of pain there is. You want evolving pain. So you want this. Because if it didn't exist, you wouldn't get what you wanted. So only get what you want is go through the evolving pain. So Mr. Shithead over here is going to throw all the evolving pain he can at you. Hardcore. Here's some examples. Number one, top list, fear. I'm of the belief, and some psychologists believe this, I believe this myself, I've written about this, all negative emotions stem from one negative emotion, that is fear. If you're mad, you're not mad, you're scared. If you're sad, you're not sad, you're scared. If you're jealous, you're not jealous, you're scared. If you're lonely, you're not lonely, you're scared. All negative emotion comes from fear. So if you never get mad, like me, I don't get mad, get frustrated a little bit sometimes, but I don't get mad. What does that mean? I'm brave. I don't have fear. Fear is not something I experience. The difference between alpha male 1.0 who's mad all the fucking time, not all the time. The alpha male 1.0 who's mad often, and the alpha male 2.0 who's virtually never mad. The alpha male 1.0 has a lot of fears. That's why he gets mad. If he didn't have fears, he wouldn't get mad. So your current self is going to make you scared. Well, if you quit your job and this business doesn't work, you won't be able to pay your rent, and you're going to be homeless. You go, oh, shit. You tell your wife you want to fuck other girls, she'll divorce you, and she'll take your house and your car and all your retirement and take your kids, and you'll never see your kids again. You go, oh, shit. No, that's all false. It's literally illegal, but that's what he'll do. You're going to move to another country that's not America. America's perfect. You're going to move to Paraguay? What if you break your arm? There's no hospitals and doctors anywhere in Paraguay. You're going to get gangrene. You have to cut off your arm. Just stay in America where the healthcare is good. You're going to go, oh, shit, okay. Number two, procrastination. You don't need to do this now. This goes back to my life sucks, but it's not that bad. Don't do it now. Do it next year. You're busy. Dude, you're going through the thing with your college and you're going through the thing with your mom and the thing with this. You should do this. You want to do this and become a future self. Do it next year. Do it in December. Do it now. Come on. Rationalizing. Well, it's not that important. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, do I have to have sex with 2 girls? Is it that important? I mean, Caleb says so, but do I have? I mean, it's not. I have sex now. It's not that important. I have 2. I mean, come on. Come on, man. Come on, man. He's good. This little monster motherfucker over there, he's good. He's good at this shit. He's very good at manipulating you. Regression. Well, I mean, life isn't that bad. We talked about this. It's not that bad. I mean, I'm not homeless. I have my own place. And, it's not bad. America sucks. It's not that bad. I mean, it's not that. So, I mean, do I really need to work this hard it's not that bad. LISIG questions, low income smart guy questions. And LISIG questions usually come up as two things. One is, what if questions? Well, what if this happens? What if that? It's a lot of what if questions. Well, what if I start my own business and I pick the wrong niche? What if I start my own business and then I get a client and then there's a refund policy and he asks for his money back? Well, what if I do it for free and then I got 3 clients in a row who don't? What if this and what if that and what if this and what if that and what if this and what if that and what if this and what if that? Yeah, that's all. What is that fear? Excuses. Well, I'm an introvert. I mean, it's hard for you to dig because I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. I don't like talking to people, and I'm not good with girls because I'm an introvert. Or I'm an extrovert. I can't be organized with spreadsheets like Caleb. I'm an extrovert. That's not the way I roll, man. I'm a freewheeling guy, man. So I can't make money. I can't have a business. Excuses. All bullshit excuses. Sour grapes. What does sour grapes means? You know what? Being rich is for assholes. Rich people are assholes. I don't need to be rich. I don't need to. That's for living in Dubai. I mean, that's for pricks. I mean, come on. I mean, going to Colombia to bang smoking hot girls. I mean, what a douchebag. That's for douchebags. I'm not a douchebag. You know what? I'm a Christian. I'm a good man. I'm a good guy. I believe in morals and ethics. Fuck all these girls. Man, it's ridiculous. That's for douchebags. That's for douchebags like Andrew Tate. I'm not like that. He's a douchebag. I'm not a douchebag. I'm a salt of the earth man here. I read the Bible, or I read the Quran. I'm not going to do that. Sour grapes. Laziness. Well, I did work on this for an hour. I've had people say this to me. I worked on this for an hour, so I'm good. I deserve a break. So now I'll work on this next week because I worked on it for an hour on Wednesday. So I'll work on it again next Wednesday for another hour because I worked really hard for an hour. Yeah, and with Gen Z and millennial, Jesus. I had millennials on my blogs years ago. This is before Gen Z. I would say, here's the top 17 books you should read. And I had people in the comments saying, I got to read a book? Well, fuck that. Yeah. Now we have Gen Z guys saying, I got to work to pay my bills? Fuck that. Yeah. That's your current self. Start a business? Why do I just fucking start a business? Fuck that. All right. Now, when your current self throws this evolving pain at you, and it's going to a lot, some more than others, depends on the person, depends on the scenario. When it does this, there's only one thing that kills evolving pain and kills your current self and gets you to your future self. There's only one thing. And I mean this. It's the only thing. I'll be specific about this in a minute. Right action. This is a term I coined. I didn't coin this. I copied this from Michael Gerber, the guy who wrote the E-Myth. He didn't talk about it in that book. He talked about it in his speeches, called right action. Actually doing the work kills evolving pain. It murders it. Right action. Right action is doing the actual, real work to improve your condition. In your dating life, Five Flags life, business life, whatever. Doing the work, not thinking about it, not watching YouTube videos about it, doing it. When all these excuses and fears and worries and pain and resistance comes up, you dump a bunch of real right action work on top of it and it goes away. If not immediately, it goes away quickly. Here's some examples of right action. Actually sitting down and developing your product, information, or service you're going to sell in your Alpha 2.0 business. Actually building the thing, configuring the thing, the coaching service, the consulting, whatever. Okay? Making cold calls to sell your thing. Getting on the fucking phone and dialing that number and making calls to sell your thing. Or sending cold DMs on LinkedIn, or cold emails, or cold DMs on Facebook groups, or whatever you're doing. Cold outreach. That's real right action. I'm scared. Yeah, you'll be scared. You're not scared. That's your current self trying to defend, trying to protect himself, trying to survive. So instead of going, oh, I'm scared, you say, oh, that's my little monster current self trying to survive. He's so cute. Fuck you. I'm making 10 calls right now, motherfucker. And he goes, boom, and he's gone. For your woman life, going on lots of first dates. Actually going out on first dates, not looking at Tinder and looking at girls and going to seeking arrangement and paging down and jerking off to the girl. No. Not reading a dating book. No. Going out on first dates. How many first dates I've been on in my life? It's well into the triple digits. I don't know the number. It's ridiculous. It's right action. It's the action I need to take to improve my condition. This is for you monogamous guys. Having that difficult discussion with your current monogamous girlfriend or wife to open up the relationship. There's a lot of you in my audience, and you're still hemming and hawing about this and nervous about this. And oh my God, she might divorce me, but then she might cry. Well, what if she throws a pot? What if she throws a thumb at my face? What if this and what if that? What if it takes my kid? Blah, 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 blah. You got to sit down and have that talk. A talk I've had more than once with more than one woman. Not that exact talk, but similar talks. You got to do it. Here's one I threw in for me. This is for me and a lot of you. If you want to lose body fat, eat at a caloric deficit for many, many, many days in a row. Not just a week in a row, months in a row. Hard for me, especially when traveling. So I threw that in for me. So I'm yelling at me too, because I have a current self who I don't like. In terms of my body fat percentage, don't like him at all. Don't like, and he is really good. Boy, is he good. Caleb, none of your women care if you're overweight. None of your clients care if you're overweight. You feel great every day. Who gives a shit? If you have a burrito every once in a while, who gives a shit? And I go, oh yeah, that's a good point. No, I don't. I know it's my current self. So, and again, there's a reason I'm not 400 pounds. I could be. Etc. Many other examples of doing the things that actually move the needle. Let me tell you things that are not right action. This is important for a lot of you. This is not right action. Learning, reading, listening to podcasts, including this one. I love that you're here, but this isn't right action. Listening to audiobooks, including business audiobooks, and I do this regularly, but it's not right action. It's not. Reading blogs, watching YouTube videos, including this one. A lot of you have convinced yourself that consuming content is taking action. It's not. It's avoidance behavior. You're avoiding it. You're letting your current self win when you're good. I need to learn more shit. No, you don't need to learn more shit. There's so many of you in my audience who've been following my stuff for years, plus other people's content for years, and you haven't done shit. You don't need to learn any more shit. This is listing stuff. You're a fucking listing. You know what you need to do. Get off your dumb ass and get to work. Thinking about your business. I've had guys regularly tell me, well, I've been working on this hard for working. What have you been working? Well, I've been thinking about this for 4 months. Thinking about your business is not right action. Thinking about what you're going to say to your girlfriend or say to your girl is not right action. Doing it is. Asking friends or mentors for advice. Again, a lot of you seem to think that's work. It's not. It's not right action. You can consider it work, but it's not right action. It's not IW. That doesn't move the needle forward at all. And I'm not saying never do these things. I do these things, but I know they're not right action. None of this stuff will help defeat my current self. None of this. None of this stuff will help defeat your current self. When you do this kind of stuff, he flexes his muscles and goes, yeah, kicked his ass. Yeah, he's going to watch more podcasts and make a change. Yes, good. Posting comments on social media, videos, blogs, whatever. Going on Twitter/X and yucking it up at people you hate politically. When you do that, your little monster inner self goes, yes, awesome, perfect. Get him on Twitter, get him on Instagram, get him on Facebook. Have him argue with a bunch of people on the internet who doesn't know. Oh, thank God, I love it. Then I will survive forever. Asking more questions and more questions and more questions and more questions. Okay, I have another question. What if this? What if that? What if this? Listed questions. Bullshit busy work. A lot of people are into this stuff. Usually technical work. I'm going to design my own website. It's going to take me 6 months to design my own website. Dumb fuck. You can go on Squarespace and have a website up and running within 90 minutes and be making money the next day. Fucking around with your logo, fucking around with your bookkeeping system. This is not right action. This is avoidance behavior. You're avoiding doing the things you know you need to do. Get on the fucking phone or send cold DMs or whatever. Okay. All right. Bottom line to all this. So whenever you encounter motivating pain, this is great. You're like, okay, that's it. Get excited. Now it's time to change. That's awesome. This is your opportunity to now create the life that you want. This is good pain. We like motivating pain. It's good. So motivating pain is not negative. It's positive. The divorce I went through 20 years ago, horrible experience, but it was one of the best things that could have happened to me. And I mean it. It was fantastic. So it's good. I'm glad it happened. It's awesome. Then you got to make sure you take right action as soon as you're faced with motivating pain. Get off your ass and get to work. When you take the right action, when your motivating pain will be overcome, your current self. I didn't say this right. I'm gonna re-say this. When you start taking action, you will experience evolving pain because your current self doesn't want to die. He wants to live and be miserable forever. And so to fight him, to defeat him, you overwhelm him with right action, right action, right action, right action, right action. Nothing else. Right action, right action, right action, right action. And when you feel the resistance of the evolving pain, that's good. You should love evolving pain. I'm training myself to love evolving pain. I'm not there yet, but I'm almost there. Where I feel evolving pain, I go, yes, good. Because my goal is right around the corner. Hell yes. Give me more evolving pain. Not literal pain, that's bad. Not nagging pain, that's bad. Motivating pain is temporary. Evolving pain. And by responding to evolving pain with right action, real work that moves the needle forward. And you're going to be scared when you do it. Because your current self is going to scream and fight and use every trick in the book, and you keep overwhelming him with right action, and you will eventually defeat him and replace yourself with your new self. Okay? Oops, never mind. That's it. That's how this works. 2 types of pain, what to do when you move to the pain. And I will cover questions for a little bit, and I got to catch a flight. So do I need my glasses? Let's see if I can do this without my glasses so I can look more cool. Cool, baby. All right, I'm scrolling up the questions here. Let's see. Take a drink of water. If you have any questions, go and put them in chat, and I'll burn through these as fast as I can. Then I got to vominos. Damn, where was I here? How to respond to a pre-talk MLTR when she says she's falling in love with you. You give her a big hug and a big kiss. You don't say I love you too. You go, really? Oh my God, come here. You lean into it. Is this what meaning you intend on pain? Example, when FB in harem insult me and say I'm not Alpha 2.0, you shouldn't care. And I enforce discipline as Quran say, and she become nice again. You don't enforce anything with women in Alpha Male 2.0. I have a feeling you're not going to like how I have a feeling you're not a good candidate for Alpha Male 2.0 if you want to enforce things. If an FB insults you, you leave. Soft necks, you just leave. You get up and leave and go fuck someone else. You don't tell her anything. If an MLTR or new WD, I don't use the term WD anymore. I got rid of that term years ago. If a new MLTR asks what I was up to or why I didn't answer a call and I was on a date with a woman, how to respond? I was busy. I'm really busy. I have a very full schedule. I want to know exactly what you were doing. I don't use soft next, but I don't think she'll say that. To maintain a non-monogamous EFA, hang on a sec. Is it okay to have sex in the bedroom rather than the living room? It's okay. It's okay. The EFA is better in the living room, but it's okay to have sex in the bedroom. It's okay. It's all right. If a woman sees another woman's earrings in your room during phase 2, is that too close to proof or is a good clue? That's good. It's great. I've done it myself. When trying to get an FB, how do you respond when they insist on hanging out or going on a date? You can do that pre-lock-in. You can go on dates pre-lock-in. That's fine. And then after that, no more dates. I'm an Indian guy, and like you, I do not find most Indian girls attractive. Should I start messaging Hispanic Latina girls since the skin tone is closer to mine before messaging white girls? Yes, that is exactly what you should do. Correct. From your experience, are there some girls that orgasm just once, not multiple? That is most women, yes. Should you go for multiple every girl? You ask. So when she comes once, you say, you want to do that again? You want to try that again? And just watch her. And she might go, no, or she'll go, which means yes, or she'll say, okay, you ask. And then as you make her come again, just went through this with somebody. Make her come again, you ask her again. Do you want to do it again? You can do it again if you want, or you don't have to. And then you watch her. Yes, no, or she'll, that means yes. Being organized doesn't help if you give your number to them first. Many girls don't say their name when they text you first. That's correct. What's your opinion on going to women's places to sleep with them? That's great if you can do it, but the vast majority of women do not live alone, so that's not an option. Usually not an option. I don't have my own place, live in the early 30s like with my parents and saving for a place. Okay, if you could do it, great. It's going to be very rare. Outcome independence means if I don't like that, I don't have my own place. It's not my problem. It's yours. My mindset is. There are other women that don't care. Remember that homeless guy. Correct. Agree. That picked up women. He was chubby and homeless and is doing better than most men when it comes to. Yes. Correct. Do you think it's acceptable to be unhappy for years if it motivates you to do long-term goals like make a $500K a year? No. Well, I already covered that in the slides. You may have asked that before the slides. Actually, you did. So no. You're not unhappy for years. You're unhappy to get to work. Do you worry that your OLTR wife will get really fat and unattractive, or is that what your FBs are for? I do not worry that with Pink Firefly specifically, no, because she's very skinny. She's never been fat in her life. She has a really high, she's ectomorphic, high metabolism. No, she's already lost weight. She looks great. So no, I'm not worried about that with her in particular. But if she gained weight, fine. I have FBs. Yeah. Pain motivates me to improve appearance, but question for Caleb, would FB do sittings on your face? Does it make pains? I don't think you're being serious. Pain has motivated me to work my ass off, and I know I will have a better life than 90% of men. Thanks to Alpha 2.0. Cool. Can you have multiple women without telling your wife? Can you have multiple women without telling your wife? No, your wife knows it's a non-monogamous. OLTR is openly stated non-monogamous relationship. She knows there are other women. If you don't have other women, you haven't told your wife, you are monogamous and you are cheating. When you say profit before taxes is after you paid yourself a salary. No, that paying yourself a salary is included in your income. So salary per distributions, that total amount adds up to $85,000. Good question. I have a friend in Arizona who wants to know, when are you allowing Pink Firefly back on Hinge? Allowing? She can do whatever she wants. I don't disallow her to do anything. She can go on Hinge whenever she wants. She won't. We talked about it. She won't. She's allowed to. I've never said she couldn't go on Hinge. So you're misunderstanding. She can go on Hinge whenever she wants. She can do whatever she wants, whenever she wants. She's totally willing to do anything she wants. But as far as I know, she doesn't want to. But she can. Sure. What do you think makes an alpha, both 1.0 and 2.0 externally? Is it more that he can lay with women or the money he makes? You read my book, The Unchained Man, the first chapter. I go into that in detail. Just read that first chapter. You've been to Thailand. Do you think Thai meditation is good? I've never done Thai meditation. I'm sorry, I can't answer that. If no or yes, then what do you recommend? Thanks, man. Counted breathing. If you're a beginner at meditation, count your breathing. Count to 10 and start over. That's it. That's it. It sounds like you and Pink Firefly are about to break up. Totally incorrect. Are you kidding? No. Does that mean there's no hope for us? I don't know where you got that. Where did I say we're about to break up or not? I'm about to see her tomorrow. I'm very excited. Incorrect. Very awesome subject. Manic hell yeah. Cool. Are you for men doing martial arts? I think martial arts is almost an alpha male 2.0 requirement. Almost. It's that important. I did it for years. My son did it. Almost a requirement. You need to get in fights. You need to not fear getting hit. That's a big part of being alpha, in my opinion. If you're scared to be hit, you're a beta. So I was in martial arts for years and I got my ass kicked. And I kicked some asses too. So it's really valuable to get your ass kicked and to kick someone's ass physically. So martial arts, it's not an Alpha 2.0 requirement, but it's almost there. I mean, it's like 1 millimeter away from being an Alpha Male 2.0 requirement. So I strongly recommend it. Before she evolved from relationship pain, was Pink Firefly just a caterpillar? What the fuck? I don't know what you mean. Any good tactics for not experiencing fear as we're discussing? You don't not experience it. You feel the fear and do it anyway. That is a book I recommend. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. One of the core books that you should read. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. You don't not feel fear. You feel the fear and proceed in spite of fear. You don't just not feel fear. That's not how the brain works. Do you have less energy after donating blood, like for days? I do not. Maybe because I'm used to it. I don't. I feel fine. The very first time I donated blood, I felt sleepy. I think your body adjusts because I donate blood so often now. The very first time, yeah, I was like, whoa, hey, I was like a little just, you want to go to bed. You want to go to sleep. That's why those vampire movies that are accurate, where the vampire sucks the woman's blood from her neck, and the ones that are inaccurate, she goes, ah! The ones that are accurate are where the woman, you'll see this in some vampire, she like, her eyes flutter and she starts getting sleepy. That's how it works. The first you lose a lot of blood. So I am fine. They tell you not to have sex within 24 hours or exercise within 24 hours. I have sex, but I don't exercise. But I don't feel any worse. No, I feel fine. Thoughts on Brian Johnson with his anti-aging protocol? I did an entire video on that. Go to my Alpha Male 2.0 channel and watch. I think it's awesome. I compared my protocol to his protocol. So I've done an entire thing on that. I have bad pain in bottom of tummy. How do I know if this is just evolving? Okay, one more comment like that, I'm going to have to ban you, okay? I think you're making jokes. I can't tell, though. Got to get that Brian Johnson body fat percentage. Yeah, I'm not going that low. I want to get to 14. My goal as a man in his 50s, as a highly endomorphic, slow metabolism man in his 50s, is get to 14% body fat and maintain that for the rest of my life. If I get to 14%, I will be ecstatic. Could I get to 9% or 8%? I mean, I could, but I don't think I want to take the effort. I don't think I care. But 14%, and that's sustainable, unlike 8%, that shit ain't sustainable, sorry. Especially when you're over 50. And Brian Johnson's almost 50. He'll learn. You can do it, but it's hard. I mean, shit. Are there age restrictions when using Bumble? How to get around them? I'm 45, targeting mid-20s women. No, there are no age restrictions as far as I'm aware. Is cold approach for a man who's 40s worth doing with women who are much younger VYWs, or is it just too creepy or intimidating to women? I did it as a man in his 30s and 40s, day game with much younger women. It worked great. You need to buy my book, The Ultimate Younger Woman Manual. I have 2 entire chapters in there on cold approach, specifically for older men and much younger girls, on how to do it and how to not do it. A few quick things, like you have to use indirect game. You can't walk up and say, hey, you're cute. If you're around her age, you can. But if you're in your 40s and she's 19, you can't say, hey, I just came over because I think you're cute. You got to be very indirect. So get that book. It's perfectly fine. Now that you're blogging again, can we finally get Text Game Part 5, how to use texting to boost our attraction levels for you? Perhaps. Good point. Good memory. Other content creators, both men and women, endlessly use the word respect as a measure of desire women need to have of men to maintain attraction to them. Is this BS to the 2.0? It's not BS. It's not relevant. It's not relevant to the 2.0. You will gain her respect by being a 2.0, not by demanding it. The Alpha Male 1.0 demands respect. You will respect me, and you will do this. The Alpha 2.0 doesn't even bring it up. But if you have a high income, if you're a higher income guy, you're traveling the world, you're having sex with lots of attractive women, and she knows it, do you think she'll respect you? Yeah, a lot. You don't have to say a word. Nor, more importantly, should you care. We don't care about respect. We care about happiness. So as long as my wife and my women are happy, I don't care if they respect me. Don't give a fuck. As long as they're not giving me drama and they're happy, I can give a fuck what they think about me. So those 2 aspects. Overall, what you say is more powerful, positive or negative motivation? I already answered that. This is probably the best live stream in both channels. Timeless video we can rewatch. Yes. This is one of the hang on. This is one of those you should rewatch or re-listen to. You're correct. Are you still happy despite feeling pain? I am, because I live a happy life and I'm a happy guy and I've developed an Alpha 2.0 lifestyle. So my life is still very happy, despite that I have to push through a lot of evolving pain. Because my overall life is happy. Good question. What do you if your OLTR keeps fluctuating in her weight? She goes from overweight to back in shape, back and forth. How would you address it? I wouldn't, only indirectly. So here's what I would say. When she was overweight, I would say to her, I love you. You can weigh anything you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do because Alpha Male 2.0, we don't tell women what to do. You can weigh whatever you want. You can be a big fat bitch. Fine with me. Don't care. I'll still love you. Just letting you know, I'm a man. And unlike a woman, a man has to get physically aroused in order to have sex. So if you keep gaining weight like this, there's going to be a point where I won't be able to have sex with you because I won't be able to get hard. You're a girl. As long as there's lube around, you don't need to be turned on to have sex. But I'm a boy. So I'm going to be having sex with my FBs a lot more who are skinny and pretty than you. Now, I still will be with you. I'll still love you, cuddle with you, take care of you, love you. Fine. But I'm a man. I can't get aroused if you're fat. Unless you're the type of guy who's attracted to fat women. There are some guys like that. But if you're not, it sounds like you're not. I'm not the kind of guy. Sorry. But you can do whatever you want. Just letting you know. You make the decision, sweetheart, because I love you. That's how I address it. Again, pink firefly is size 0. I don't have this problem. And all my FBs are skinny. Which religion has the least SP according to you? Taoism. I ended my monogamous relationship following your advice. Good. I'm fairly successful but talented with women, but very talented with women, fitness, money. But I still feel... Sorry, it moved the questions up. Shit, lost your question. Hang on, looking for it. But I still feel a huge one-itis. What's the best thing I could do now? Have sex with 2 new, attractive women who are younger and or hotter than your one-itis. Does being Alpha 2.0 versus monogamy boost OLTR sex drive in most cases? Yes. Just talked to 2 different guys about this who opened up their marriages, and their wives are now horny as hell for these guys, and they're shocked. I'm not. I'm like, that's exactly how it works. I'm like, oh my God, she dyed her hair blonde. She's dressing sexy around the house. She's leaping my bones. She hasn't been like that in 6 years. But now that I'm fucking other girl, yes. Women are attracted to men who they know are having sex with women who are hot or as hot or hotter than them. They don't like it. They get mad, but they're attracted. Why do you constantly have to waste time on women? You should never waste any time on any woman. So I don't know what you're referring to. Doesn't that distract you from your mission? If you wasted time, yes, absolutely. You shouldn't don't waste time on any women, correct. I'd rather just have one submissive wife and not play stupid dating games so I can focus on my mission. Do you think I play stupid dating games? I don't play any games. One submissive wife, what happens when she says, that's monogamy. What happens when you want to have sex and she says no? What happens? What do you do? Give me your answer. Oops, that's the problem. See? So get one. I have a submissive wife. Her name's Pink Firefly. She's very submissive. Get a submissive or 2 submissive FBs on the side. That's all you need. Now you're good to go. No matter what happens. Way better. What happens if your submissive wife divorces you? Is it within the 2% rule to not use condom women over 45? I don't know. I haven't crunched those numbers. I wouldn't do that. If the woman is new, I would still use a condom. So women over 45 have sex. Not as much, though. You're right. I see your point. I don't know the answer to that question. I would still do it. Is there a point to deal with women if you're still at home, or should I just go to their place or just focus on moving out first? What? I do not understand your question. Rewrite your question. I'm going to talk about something really quick here. Hang on one moment. I just remembered something. Hang on. I'm going to share a different screen here. Almost forgot about this. 90-day business builder, really fast. I'll answer more of your questions. That is open for enrollment right now until Monday. We work with you for 12 weeks, live, real humans. This is not a video course. We work with you, human beings, many coaches, like 70 coaches in the program, including me. Billy, Jeff, Cliff, a whole bunch of people, okay? We work with you for 12 weeks to set up your own location-dependent business, even if you're a beginner and have no idea where to start. That program is for you. It's open for enrollment right now. You will be making real money, as in thousands of dollars, within 12 weeks. We guarantee it, starting from zero. You can, okay, ignore that part. You can't try it for 2 weeks. You can make payments if you can't afford the entire program. It is several $1,000s, but it's totally tax deductible. You write off of your taxes. You can make payments if you can't afford it, anywhere from 4 months to up to 12 months, depending what country you're from. You get 36 training sessions live from real human beings over Zoom, 3 a week for 12 weeks, plus some additional ones that we don't advertise. So you actually get about 4 or 5 a week, but the official ones are 3 a week. Okay, we've added some more. All the sessions are recorded. You keep the recordings forever. Forever. They're yours forever. You are in our daily base camp. You're in our base camp, which is our project management system. You get daily, round-the-clock, 24/7 support, 7 days a week from your accountability coaches and other coaches in base camp. You ask questions, whatever you want. You have a structured curriculum with set of to-do lists for the 12 weeks. We tell you exactly what to do and when to do it with assignments every week. So you don't have to worry about what to do. We tell you exactly what to do. Do this, then do this. We hold your hand. We walk you through the process. It's awesome. We have an accountability coach who's assigned to you. If you fall behind in your assignments, he says, hey, how are you doing? Can you help? If you have problems in your life that come up, he'll work with you 7 days a week. We also have exclusive step-by-step training videos that I have done, most of them, that are not available in any other of my products anywhere on the internet, including that big bundle you guys, some of you got a few weeks ago. It's not there. We have specific training videos, how to set your own location of better business, only in 90-day Business Builder and in no other of my products or courses or anything. Okay? None. Only this program. You also get the Alpha 2.0 business course, about 6 hours of training. You get that. We throw that in for free. You get the How to Get Clients course, 17 ways to get clients. Some are free, some are paid. We give you that for free. You get my book, Big Income from Little Work. We give you that for free. 90day.ca. That deadline is wrong. Ignore that deadline. The deadline is Monday, whatever that is. So that's the 1st, July 1st, I think, is your deadline to schedule a call. And if you're not interested, it's fine. You schedule a call, see if it's right for you. 90day.ca. You've got about 4 days left before we end curriculum, before we end the enrollment. Cool? Cool. All right. Leave that up for a minute. Let's see. A few more questions, and I have to go catch a flight. Let's see here. If I work five hours of real work a day that moves the needle, then watch 3 hours of relevant podcasts that teach me practical stuff, it's okay, right? 3 hours of relevant podcasts a day is a lot. I think that's too much. I would rather you do 7 hours of work and 1 hour podcasts. Spirituality is not one of your priorities right now. Correct, but it's coming soon. A few more years, coming soon. But do you realize you're very spiritual? Yes, I do. I have a lot of spiritual aspects of my life. I don't talk about it a lot, but yes. Outcome independence, be aware of reality, abundance mentality. You're absolutely right. I have a lot of spiritual aspects to my life. I just don't focus on them individually as a spiritual thing. You're right. Spiritual is really important. I just think it's a waste of time if you're under 50, under 60. 50 or 60, what was my thing? 50? Under 50. If you're under 50. Spending a lot of time in your spiritual life just means you're gonna find a religion and be an idiot. When hitting up an ex after a long listen video, should you just skip any small talk and pitch a no? You got to have a little small talk. She's a girl. They're not men. We're not fucking men. We're fucking women. You need a little small talk with her. Sorry. And just pitch a meek, or is a small talk necessary? Yes. For her to be more comfortable about you talking to her again. Yes. A little bit. Not an hour conversation. You need a little. Yes. These are not men. These are not robots. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're wrong. Just kidding. You cannot truly achieve happiness. Excuse me. Hang on a second. You cannot truly achieve greatness while prioritizing happiness over accomplishment. You cannot truly achieve greatness while prioritizing happiness over accomplishment. Correct. All great men in history were alpha male 1.0s who made great sacrifices. When you're talking about great men in history, you're talking about people like George Washington. Do you want to go start a country? Is that your goal? No? Okay, that's not relevant, is it? Right? Do you want to go start a company that is, multi-billions of dollars like Steve Jobs and revolutionize an industry? Is that your goal in life? Probably not. So these men are not relevant to you. I don't want to do any of these things. I have no desire to start a revolution or to start a religion or to start a cult or to be a president or a prime minister or invent something brand new. I have no desire to do any of these things. So when you say great men, those are men who are societal men. I don't care about society. Fuck society. So that's why you are incorrecto. Focus on happiness. Make sure you implement the things you need to create happiness. Location dependence, non-monogamy, your own business, blah, 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 and you will be very successful. I have never, ever, ever, ever in my life focused on being a great man. Never once. I focus on being long-term happy by being long-term free. And now I live a great life. When the girl you're talking to at work asks if you have a girlfriend, what's the smart answer for high value? I don't lie to women. So the smart answer is whatever's not a lie. I don't lie to women. I told her yes. Well, is that a lie? I'm talking to people. Don't worry about it. And she asked, is it a girl? And I said yes. The next day she texts me, so when are you picking me up? Great. I don't lie to women. If you have a girlfriend, say yes. If you don't, say no. If you're dating girls, say I date several girls. But don't lie. If I'm still at home, should I try to go over to a new girl's house to get laid? Yes. Or just focus on moving out and getting my own place before I deal with more women? Both. Both at the same time. All right, one or two questions. I got to go. Why to do if you're highly religious, or what to do if you're highly religious, but you're now interested in this content which conflicts non-monogamy, and you're constantly at odds with yourself because you feel so strongly religiously? Well, first you should go to my blog. I think it's at the Alpha Male 2.0 blog, and it's called How to Overcome Religious Programming. Read that article, because I had to do this as I was Catholic when I was a kid. My mom was a Catholic nun. Read that article. So that's number one. Number two, do you want to be happy or do you want to adhere to your religion? Which one do you want? I want both. Can't have both. Christianity and Islam in particular do not teach long-term consistent happiness. Islam addresses some of it, to be fair to Islam. Christianity doesn't at all. That's not why they're there. They're both alpha male 1.0 or wannabe alpha male 1.0 philosophies. Kick everyone's ass, be a strong man, get married, monogamous, raise kids, vote for Republicans. Okay, none of that's going to make you very little of that's going to make you long-term happy. It's just going to cause a lot of conflict. So do you want to be happy or do you want to adhere to your religion? Which one do you want? And you got to sit down and make a decision. And I have spoken with men who have said, you know what? I want to adhere to my religion. And no, I will never be as happy as you, Caleb. They've said this to me, Christians. Look, I'll never be as consistently happy as you. I understand that. But I want to be a God-fearing Christian. Great. That's the decision you're making. Then you can't do Alpha Male 2.0. You can do little bits and pieces of it. Or my choice would be, I want to be happy. I only live this life once. I'm not going to waste it by not being happy. Fuck that. I will still love God. I'll still read the Bible. Fine. But I'm not going to suffer for my religion. I am not going to suffer for anyone or any organization. I'm not going to suffer for any country, including the United States. Fuck the United States. I'm not going to suffer for Christianity or Islam. I'm not going to suffer for any religion. Fuck that. I'm not going to suffer for any person, my wife, my mom. I'm not going to suffer for anyone. Period. I'm not a martyr. I'm a man. I'm not going to suffer for anybody. That's my answer. Okay. Was one of you asking about the Marvel movies? What was that? Where was that question? How are we doing on time? Oh, I'll wrap up with a nerd thing really quick. I knew the Marvel movies were completely fucked at the very beginning of Thor: Love and Thunder, because the end of Marvel of Endgame, Thor combined with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they made a big deal out of it. I'm like, well, that's a very interesting thing. That'd be cool. And then the very next movie, in the first 5 minutes, he leaves the Guardian Galaxy. And as soon as I saw that, I said, Marvel doesn't know what they're doing anymore. They don't have a plan anymore. They're just fucking around and letting any individual director just do whatever they want. Same thing with the first 10 seconds of The Last Jedi. When I watched that movie, what a horrible experience to watch that movie in the movie theater. The opening crawl, the very first thing says, the First Order has taken over the whole galaxy. I'm like, they're fucked. They don't know what they're doing. Disney don't know what the fuck they're doing. They've ruined Star Wars. I'm out. So there you go. All right, 2 more questions. So if you got a girl's number whom you already talked to in person that day, do you still have a small talk over a text before pitch the date? Very short small talk. Very short. Few back and forths. On your contacts, do you them as FBs or regular names? On their names. I don't say FB number 4. They're human beings. I have them as their names. Yes, of course. Does anyone can see your phone? Should you let them? I've told this story many years ago when I first started dating Pink Firefly. I said, you can look at my phone whenever you want. It's a lot of stuff on there. And all these guys in the pickup artist world said, oh my God, what a beta. You're letting her see your phone. No, I'm not independent. I'm an alpha male. I don't care if she sees my phone. You're scared to let her see your phone. You're the pussy, not me. So she asked to see my phone a grand total of 3 times and never asked again. She hasn't asked in 10 years plus. Because once she sees the phone a few times, she's like, okay. She saw a bunch of FBs in there, but it was all like scheduling. Like, okay, how about Wednesday night at 7 p.m.? No, I'm busy. How about Thursday? Okay, that's most of my text with my FBs. It was like, oh, I love you so much, FB. I can't wait to be with you. That's what she was looking for. Like, but she didn't see that because I don't deal with FBs. So there you go. So she can look at my phone whenever she wants. She hasn't asked in 10 plus years because she has asked for, I have mentioned this when I went to Dubai without her the first time. She wanted to see pictures of women I was sleeping with in these various countries. And then she started getting a little jealous because they were hot. So that, but no. All right. 90day.ca for the 90-day business builder. If you want to work with me and Billy and the whole group over the next 12 months, you can make payments. It's tax deductible. Your deadline is this Monday, which is July 1st, I believe, to schedule that call. And that's a hard deadline. We can't take you after that. Sorry. That's the way it goes. That's it. I got to get on a plane to fly to boiling hot Phoenix. Can't wait for the heat. Love my wife. Not excited about the heat. I will see you guys next week. Have fun.